Yo, what's up? It is so brat season, holy. Oh my goodness. Let me say to anybody who's in chat right now, I appreciate you choosing my broadcast over Matt, Kenny, Tucker, Kevin Schluber's. Cedric might be there. I appreciate. Yeah, it's a tough call, I'm sure, for most of you. Maybe you guys have the split screen up. You're way more entertaining. I don't think that's true. The haircut looks good. Thank you. I like it a lot. Not my crowd. No taste. No taste. I have the Falcons game on the split screen. How's that going? Oh, it's a good game. JPR, thank you for the gift. Thank you, Nathan, for the tier 1. I appreciate you. Thank you, Tay, for the 10 months, and Tom for the 10 months as well. That how would make a beautiful green screen, honestly. It would be something. How was the concert? It was good. It was good. I will say, I definitely treated the Troye Sivan segments of the concert as like intermission. He was a very good performer, a lot of choreography. He definitely was doing more than Charlie choreography wise, but I here's what I'll say. People during the announcement of the concert were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it's both these people on tour together. Like Charlie's so much bigger." And then a lot of people pushed back. That concert was like 85% Charlie fans. 100%. Like Charlie's bigger than Troye Sivan at this point, and it's not close. Thank you, Melfna. I appreciate you. Thank you for the 9 months. Almost at a year. Can you believe that? Some of us? That's crazy. The hat icon next to my user is same color as yours. Oh my god, Olivia, you have the Brat hat? It's pretty cool. Did America get any merch? Yeah, she got a 365 Brat, like, tank, kind of. Should the shit name be Quinn Leah or Quia? Definitely Quinn Leah. Quinn Leah, I think, just fits better. Like, I don't even know if Americory is a good ship name, necessarily. You know what I mean? Thank you, Anonymous, for gifting Manda. 365 Party Girl, that's the one. Thank you, Legs So Stanky, for the Prime as well. You've got 9 months. All the usuals. Appreciate you guys. But again, thank you, Anonymous. Americory is perfect. I think Core America is. I like Americory more, but it does just have like almost all of our names. That's why I like Quinn Leah. It's just both their names together. But I think of it like more as like Chelsie. You know, it doesn't feel like it's two words next to each other. Chelsie, Quinn Leah. It sounds like a name. I know T Core was miserable sitting next to Angela in the jury segment. It felt like Leah and Quinn were miserable sitting next to each other. You want to get into that for a second? Chelsie from BB9 shout out. Look, when I talk about BB9, I talk about BB9. Doesn't happen too often. What I mean by that is like someone soft admitting to having a crush on you while being right next to you it was so awkward to watch. I was like cringing so hard. Like I don't think no one was uncomfortable, but it just watching it was like, oh my god, let me leave. And also, let me say, on The Bachelor, there's this like hierarchy of ways to say that you love someone, right? There's I like you, I like you, I'm falling for you. I'm falling in love with you. I love you. I'm in love with you. It's like there's a spectrum. I don't think the idea of having a crush. I don't think the idea of having a crush on Quinn is that crazy. Has got to be so low on the totem pole. That is like almost off the charts non-committal. You know what I mean? Very soft open. It's something. I'm telling you. The Quinn Leah people. The crumbs. We love the crumbs. You liked America before it went to the other line? Okay, well, the reason for that is I didn't know how crazy it was to say I love you to someone who I knew for like, however long, a couple months. Like, to any of you all who, have said I love you to someone, how long did it take? How long did it take till you get the I love you? Months, 4 months, 2 months, 15 years, 3 months, 6 months, 5 months. All right. So I guess you guys said it was about time to go. I mean, we were only together though for like a week and a half, boyfriend girlfriend for a week and a half before I said I love you, right? But we knew each other for longer than that, of course. No, the showman started October 6th, Katie, so it was only a couple of weeks. I was evicted the 19th. Phoebe is a time warp, I guess. I guess so. At least he didn't pull a Ted Mosby and say it on the first date. No. No, I get it. Meeting is probably a different formula. What did I think about today? I thought the episode was horrible. I think that's a common opinion. It was like watching one episode for 1 hour. You lose sight of how bad the episode is. But when you have to watch two of them back to back, it gets brutal. And they really did everything this episode to try to distract us from the point that they had nothing to show. I thought the best part of the episode was probably just Cam talking to MJ and Chelsie about being bad at the comp. We can talk about that too. I watched that BB Comics competition very closely because I'm like, it must be a lot easier than the BB25 comics competition, or much harder than BB25 comics because the times were so much harder. That was the same fucking comp. It was the same ladder. It was the same everything. What the fuck happened? MJ would have gotten 5th on BB25. I think the differences between the comics were a little bit tougher from what I saw, just a tiny bit. But that is not a 17-minute difference maker. I'm sorry. Cam probably went 40 minutes. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, comics is not that hard of a competition. I understand that once you get several things wrong, it gets very difficult to correct because you don't know what's right, you don't know what's wrong. What bugged me the most was Cam and Rabina buzzing in the first time with over half wrong for both of them. Like, how does that happen? Felicia would have gotten 3rd this season? Yeah. Like, I don't understand how... The way you do the comp is very simple. I didn't do it this way. What I did was I went across the zip line and I memorized the first 4. And then I laid out all the 4. So the 2 of each. Then I would identify all the differences. That's the difference. That's the difference. That's the difference. Then I go back up, go across, spot all the difference. I look, okay, I'm looking at shoes, hat, sunglasses, shoes. Then I go across zip line, shoes, hat, sunglasses, shoes. Remember it, put them up there. By doing that, you can't get that many wrong. And I was going pretty fast compared to most people. Like, I was doing 4 at a time, where most people go for 2 or 3. Like, what most people do is they put them all in order at the start, and they line them up in order, and then they just go 2, 3, 4 at a time, depending on how good your memory is. And in that case, it's like, what are you like? How is Cam determining which ones go on the board and which ones don't? How is Rubina ending up with 80% wrong answers? Because you look at the difference, you go across the zip line, you look for that specific thing. I just don't understand it. Did she just like go across the zip line and then try to remember it and put them all in a row? Like, I just don't. It's wild to me. They all did go out round one in OTEV. Do you know your time? Yeah, I was 11:11. So Jag was 8:30, America was 10:53, I was 11:11, Matt was 13:37, and then Blue was 15 something, Suri was 19, Felicia was 18. At least Cam made it funny. It was funny. And being bad at comps does not make you a bad person. Like, it's fine. But it's just like, MJ's not a comp beast like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think she was good at the tiny veto either. I think this cast outside of Tucker is just really not comp tested. I don't think they're good. You all beat Chemo, Cam, and Rubina. Yeah. If you did a first, so they had 5 people in comics. We had 7, but we couldn't play. So the top 12 times, it would have been Jag, America, Cory, Matt, MJ, Blue, Chelsie. So we'd have 5 of the top 7, 4 of the top 4. And then it would be Suri or Felicia Suri. And then it would be the other 3. You know what I mean? We'd have 7 of the top 9 times, 5 of the top 7, and 4 of the top 4. It's crazy. And I get the comps are different. It was clearly harder in some capacity, but it was not. The difference in time does not make sense. 26 is a better edit than 25, but live feeds are better in 25. Look, I think it just depends on what you want in a season. I think if you're a live feeder, I think it's very tricky to say 26 is better than 25, just because I think the speed at which the game is played on 26 is really slow. Even when the game was slow on BB25, and it got very slow because how comps turned out, everyone was still having a lot of strategic conversations. Like, some of them meant nothing. Some of them was me talking to Suri, getting nothing done. You know what I mean? But it was always trying to do something, you know? Yeah, I saw Bree's thread. The comics didn't even seem harder. I thought a couple of them looked a little trickier. Some of ours were just so obvious. It was like Heisem's tie was red or green. Izzy was wearing a headband. Like, you knew exactly what to look for. This one, it was a little bit more random what was changed. Like, some of the words were changed. That didn't happen for us at all. But, you know, I think BB26, just because of the amount of blindsides and non-unanimous votes, I think the argument that it's better is like, I get it. I think that is going to be the consensus, and I think that's fair. I just think, like, it kind of exposes if you're, like, a live feeder or if you're, like, a Twitter person. Because on Twitter, you can still get funny live feed moments on, you know, from any season. But the actual live feed viewing experience from 26, I think, is a big step down from 25. The one other argument I could also understand if you just think, like, well, there's a lot less nastiness this season. There's a lot, like, less misogyny and stuff I have to turn off the camera for. I get that. That's its own thing, and if that's your line that you want to draw, I'm fine with that. I get that. And that is part of, like, why BB25 feeds were good, because there were so many people to root for and against. Everyone loved rooting for me in America. They loved rooting for Suri and Felicia. Loved rooting against the Mafia and Jared and Cam. And that's not everyone, but most of the live feeders, right? I think that's why BB24 feeds were probably somewhat captivating. And also somewhat frustrating, because everyone was rooting for Taylor. Everyone was rooting against everybody else. And it ended up being a good outcome. But it probably was annoying when Taylor would do stuff you guys didn't like. I.e. Monty, you know? First few weeks of feeds were fun until Cedric left. They just still didn't talk that much. I mean, I think this is a bad metric to use because you don't want to use like Rob as a podcasts as like a metric for anything. But like, just look at the length of the live feed updates from the first like 6 weeks of BB25 versus 26. Like, they were going for an hour 30, hour 40 in BB25, and BB26 by week 2 they were like 44 minutes. There was just more happening, and there was more stuff to recap, more strategic conversations happening in each day. They cut feeds for everything. Of course, they don't have problematic people. I agree, Lex. I think that is something to consider. But also, even with the way they've been cutting, I feel like it's hard for them to hide behavior over this large of a... Like, if Cam was a bad guy, we would have seen it on the feeds this year. We would have got that sense. MJ, everyone was wanting to hate MJ the whole season. MJ would have done something to make us hate her if she truly was a not likable person. You know what I mean? But, of course, they were cutting around things, and we know pre-jurors came out and said they couldn't say what people were saying. So, like, some stuff happened and was cut out. But no matter what, it doesn't compare to the BB25 experience, I think. She did say she went autistic for a second. That did happen. That was crazy. Honestly, great recovery by MJ. She said that early, and then was pretty chill for the rest of it. I think the feeds peaked this season probably around the Cedric flip, just T-Core and Chemo doing the late night talks. Are we flipping? Are we not flipping all night? Um, I think that's probably the peak of feeds. But even then, like most of the actual flipping and drama happened during the episode, which is fun. Again, like all the criticism you could have of the feeds, the episodes are much better. T-Core and Chemo doing two-person one-on-ones. Well, Petty, it's the same reason like kill yourself has re-entered the vernacular, and people are saying the R word more. You know, it's just kind of like counterculture, just sliding backwards. Remember, like when saying like I'm gonna kill myself was super taboo. I think it should be, but it's not anymore in the same way. I wonder if cancer will come back because that was a big thing when I was like young. Like people would use cancer to describe like bad. Like this is cancer. Like I assume not, but it is interesting because it feels like it's in that same vein. Did you say what you think tonight's HOH is, or did Julie say? I think it's got to be a quiz. It's always a quiz at the Final Four, right? I feel like it's a quiz. It should be. And if it is a quiz, I mean, here's the thing: like, if you're a Chelsie hater, you need Cam to win this HOH. That's the only outcome that's good for you. A Cam HOH. Because if Rubina wins HOH, that means Rubina can't vote. In which case, whoever she leaves off the block is not going to vote to evict Chelsie. So you specifically need a Cam HOH Rubina veto. It's the only way. Like if Chelsie has a way, I mean, no, because I was gonna say if Chelsie could throw it to Rubina, that wouldn't be bad. But in that case, it's her or Rubina. We are not allowed energy drinks. No, we are allowed coffee. We had some coffee, and we got some energy drinks in like HOH rooms. Like Bowie got Red Bulls. Cam got like some Sour Patch Kid something energy drink. Hey, Bub, I'm very sorry to hear that. I think that is the saddest thing that can happen to anybody. Their pet dying. It is like tragic. I am really sorry. I bawled when Lexi, my Shih Tzu, passed away when I was like 12, 11, something like that. Hopefully, this stream could distract you a bit. Hey, bub. Can't offer much more than that. I'm sorry. I wish I could. I was rooting for Chemo just because he could have possibly won. He would have been a terrible winner, though. Look, so let's talk about a couple things that I found interesting about the conversation this season. I feel like a lot of people on Twitter are fighting ghosts. Like, are there that many people discrediting Chelsea's game in terms of, like, thinking Cam is better than Chelsie? Is anyone actually saying that? Are there people on the timeline that I just have muted or something? Or are people just pretending? What's the logical fallacy? A straw man? Is that just a straw man? And then I also saw, like, people were talking about how much hate T-Core was getting. Are there a lot of T-Core haters on Twitter? Is that just, like, the Tucker fans? Because I feel like people have been critical of the trio, but, like, T-Core is hated on Reddit. I wonder why. I mean, you could just say, like, racist, but I feel like Reddit probably likes Chelsie a lot, I would imagine. Mostly just critical of her game. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't know. Like, I think it's very. I saw, maybe it was you, Katie, who tweeted, like, it's very easy to discern, like, who actually hates T-Core and who is just insane. If people are just insane, whatever. Block and ostracize them from the community. Evil Dick is rude about her? Okay. Again, Evil Dick I would firmly put in the insane category. And we should just cast him out of society. Hate for her being really self-righteous? Yeah, I think that's fine. I think she definitely had moments where it was, like, cringy, where it's like, T-Core, what are we talking about here? You know? A lot of the good people stuff. I think that was mostly Rabina, though. Do I have that correct? So that's the one thing I noticed. A lot of people just fighting ghosts on Twitter. And the other thing is, like, have we gone too far with the Cam praise? Are we doing the thing where we're being a little bit more revisionist and acting like he was a much better player than he was? I heard Taryn on the live feed update today. And I do think Cam, thinking more about it, I think he's probably the second best player of the season. But it's still, like, he really was super, super passive. He had an impact on the game, and he's gotten his way a lot of times. But I don't give a lot of that to his, like, strategic, activity or agency or anything. He has nothing to show for his game. The problem is, like, moves he could legitimately claim is, like, the Leah move mostly happens. Or not, okay. A lot of people debate the Izzy flip. Was it Cory? Was it America? America was the catalyst, but I had the social cap. It's like one of those things where, like, Chelsie was the catalyst. She was the one who introduced the idea and was really active pushing it. And Cam was the one who actually got it over the line. Right? So, like, Cam can claim credit for that, but he obviously wouldn't be super, like, eloquent in delivering those points in the final two. He's not the most strategic game body guy. His social game is good, yeah, but the good social game has to, at a certain point, convert to strategy and social capital. If he kept Chemo here, that could be a move for him, but also he would then basically lock himself out of winning. I think how Terrans overestimated Matt's game. I wasn't, there for. It's hard for me to talk about because I didn't get to see everything of Matt's game and all of Terran's commentary about it, but I think, like, in the house, I thought Matt was the best player. Like, it felt pretty obvious to me. Like, I think that didn't seem like a crazy stretch to me. Overestimating his agency and his activity, maybe. But, like, saying Matt was playing a good game, I don't think is wrong. He barely campaigned the week he was on the block. Yeah, that's what I keep coming back to. he was on the block. If Brooklyn wins the AI Arena, he's evicted, which is fine. Look, a lot of good players could be evicted at certain points in the season and avoid it for one reason or another. The fact that he did nothing to campaign, kind of knowing he was going home against Chelsie, he was just hoping it wouldn't happen, is pretty crazy. And maybe it's not as bad because he had a 2/3 chance of either him or Chelsie winning, so, I guess they're better competitors than Brooklyn too, so maybe. Taryn's commentary was based on Matt winning the jury vote. He didn't know the jury was against him. I mean, the commentary that Matt would win the jury vote was correct. Like, I think if you're watching the feeds, it's hard to come away with the idea that Jag would win. I think people assumed Cam would probably be a Jag vote after his interviews. People assumed Bowie would be a Jag vote, but Suri and Felicia were always Matt. I was definitely a Matt vote from the outside. And people probably assumed me and America would vote together. Blue seemed closer to Matt than Jag. Like, I think that was the right perspective to have. Would Chelsie take MJ or Cam to the final two? I think Chelsie is going to convince herself that MJ can beat her in the final two. I think that's a real possibility. And she'll take Cam. That's my guess right now. I think her plan for a while was take MJ, but I think if it comes down to it, she's going to pick Cam. Well, Petty, I think Taryn, and I think me and Taryn talked about this. Taryn was like somewhat upset because he was just being lied to all season. Like we kept saying, like, you cover the show so incessantly for such a long period of time, and you know how it's going to turn out because you've actually sat there and watched it, unlike everyone else, and then all of the shit that changes the result happens off screen. All the goodbye message. I'm sure that was like infuriating. I think Angela and Leo will vote MJ to win, so it won't be unanimous, I reckon. Yeah, it feels like Leo would be a Angela vote, or an MJ vote. And Angela seems like an anti-Chelsie vote. I think what today taught me, though, is I do think that, like, Chelsie would have beaten Chemo. Granted, they never would have ended up in the final two together. Chemo would have cut her, Chelsie would have cut him. But I think Chelsie would have beaten him. Because Chelsie, I think, based on what we saw, would have gotten Quinn's vote. And I think she had a real chance at T-Core's vote in a way we didn't think before. And I will say, like, T-Core is going to vote for Chelsie over Rubina, right? That's our read at this point. So Rubina, I think, is, like, the true GOAT at this point. I think Rubina might not even get Chemo's vote. Like, I don't think she has the respect of the jury at all. And she loses votes like Quinn and Leah. Quinn likes Rubina, but Quinn was never going to vote for Rubina. If she finds out Chelsie wasn't on her side, she might lose T-Core. I mean, right now, T-Core is uncertain whether Chelsie was the vote to keep her, and she's loves Chelsie. Like, I don't think it's going to move the needle super dramatically. I think T-Core could definitely vote for Chelsie, will vote for her against Cam and MJ. I think she votes for Chelsie over Rubina, personally. MJ will take Chelsie, Chelsie will take Cam, Rubina would take MJ, and Cam would take Chelsie. I think Cam should take Rubina. I think, like, honestly, if Rubina gets the veto, like, Cam can win the game. Like, if Rubina wins the veto, I think Cam would be my pick to win. Honestly. If Rubina won the veto. The problem is, the Final Four veto is one of the more reliable competitions to predict. It's a days comp, and she doesn't know the days. She's not been studying at all. Are we sure MJ would take Chelsie over Cam? I think MJ is going to delude herself into thinking that Cam would win in the end. They've already talked about these grand speeches he's going to give, and I think she's going to delude herself to taking Chelsie. I think. But she is aware of Chelsea's threat level. Very aware of it. The Final Four HOH is usually a quiz. But it is not super consistently a quiz. They did discs one year. Like, sometimes they mix it up. When is the what the bleep comp? Are you talking about the one that used to be Final 3 HOH? It says part 3 usually. But they haven't done that in a while. Now they just do normal quizzes. Rubina could win discs. Y'all think they're doing discs? I don't know. You think they're doing back-to-back endurance comps? I mean, I know they've done it before, but I feel it's kind of wicked. BB20 was a Final 4 HOH? Okay. They did discs in 21 as well. How long was the backyard closed? Do we know? When did it close? I know what one you're talking about, Amanda. It's the one where it makes him sound like said something dirty, and then they have to guess what they actually said. Right. Early Tuesday. Okay. That's a big setup. That's a big setup. That could be discs, honestly. In which case, I think Chelsie is the most in trouble. I think Rubina and Cam would do better than Chelsie in that. Yeah, I mean, Rubina or Cam could win that. Cam's been pretty good at endurance comps in general. Cam got third on the wall, second during Leah's HOH. Rubina was like fourth on the wall and third in that comp. So, like, that'll be competitive. Just want Rubina for max drama. It would basically, like, I think Rubina, HOH, Chelsie, Vita would be awesome. MJ Vita would be interesting too, because MJ would have to choose to ruin her game, so would Cam. I think Rubina HOH is probably the best outcome for fun, just because it makes all three scramble and all of them have to make a really interesting decision. But a Cam HOH is really dicey for Chelsie, because all of a sudden Chelsie is one veto away from being evicted. Who won discs before? Tyler, Jag. Did Nicole win discs one of her years? I think Mickey might have won. Or was that Nicole A? I forget who won in 21. Tiffany got it. Nicole A won it. Yeah, yeah. Mickey wasn't playing. That's right. Thrown by Holly is crazy. Discs is weird. Our version of discs, if you have to stand up, it's much harder. The sitting discs, final three is more how much do you want it. The standing up is pretty physical. Like, you've got to be pretty good to win that. It was a deal she made to stay over Tommy at 5. I know, but how the fuck are you honoring that deal? You know what I mean? I guess her thought is like, oh, even if you win veto, you'll cut Mickey instead of me. But I feel like they would have done that anyways, you know? Standing has to be Cam's comp. I don't know. Cam's heavy. He's a big dude. Matt had a lot of back problems with that comp. But considering how Cam did on the wall, I would think Cam would be the favorite. I remember. That was crazy. They had a weird showmance. Yeah, Cliff loved Jackson, so it's possible. Cliff might have said, I'm going to get to the final two either way if I get there with Nicole and Jackson. Rubina did well on the wall. I think she got fourth. Cam got third, right? Like, Chelsie, I think, like, Chelsie just doesn't have the advantages that, like, Cam has just the brute strength. He's just stronger than both of them. And Rubina, she's a very small frame, which is much easier. She's just super light. Chelsie just in the middle. Well, HOH is facts about Tucker comp, then what? Honestly, I still think Chelsie would do better. Prediction has Rubina winning HOH. I mean, she needs HOH because she's not winning this veto. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much. Discs is usually on feeds, so I don't think it'll be that. Angie, have you watched the season? Every comp that's usually on feeds, they've taken off feeds. There was just the wall that was on feeds, and then they took that shit away from us in the last seconds, you know? They didn't even let us see the ending of the wall. We've been going through it this season. Best at studying days, just Chelsie. What is it? Chelsie studied, Cam studied a little bit, MJ studied a little bit, Rubina's not done much. Here's the thing. If anybody lets it slip that it's going to be a day's comp, Rubina still has time to study. You can catch up. It's not that much stuff. You only have like 2 days, though. Cam was better than Chelsie at them last night? All right. Discs was a veto. It's never a veto, y'all. Like last year, wasn't that the whole gimmick of the Scramble verse? That they flipped it? Comics was HOH and Discs is a veto. That was the whole like. They had me in the DR saying that shit. I'm doing this iconic HOH as a veto, and this iconic veto is an HOH. I think that was like the gimmick of the season. We're saying that's why it wasn't on feeds last year. I'm not talking about last year, though. I'm talking about this year. Like, this year, every competition that's usually on feeds is off feeds. Unless you guys are just responding to someone in chat. Like, in BB26, every endurance comp that you'd think would be on feeds, they cut. Like the Leah HOH. Not on feeds for some reason. The egg comp is usually on feeds, right? Wasn't the egg comp usually on feeds? And they took that down? It was, yeah. I remember my mom would have it on the TV in her bedroom. Slip and slide on feeds, yep. They're definitely just waiting a couple years to bring slip and slide back. Right now, I think if I would do like a pie chart of the BB26, house guest winning chances, I would probably go like 75% Chelsie and then like split 12.5 Cam MJ. Like, I think MJ beats Cam in the end, which is very helpful, but I don't think they're going to end up in the final two almost at all. Like, if Cam wins, it'll be against Rubina. And if MJ wins, it'll be against Rubina. Like, I think you could definitely argue higher than 75%. What's dangerous for Chelsie is I think everyone in the house left knows she's the biggest threat. Do they do anything about it? Is the question. But they do know. And I think Cam stands more of a chance than 5% because, again, like, the reason why he can't win is still all in his hands. You know what I mean? I think MJ beats Cam. But I think if Cam cuts Chelsie, I think Cam could win. Like, Cam or MJ could just cut Chelsie and win. Like, at any point, they could just wake up and choose violence. And Chelsie is prone to messing things up. Like, she's going to give openings and let things slip. I will feel comfortable saying Rubina is drawing dead at this point, though. I think Cam will cut Chelsie final three if he gets the chance. Chelsea's going to guilt trip him hard, and he might be susceptible to that. But he very clearly does just like MJ more than Chelsie. So it's like he thinks he's going to lose to Chelsie, and he just doesn't like her as much as MJ. Like, there's a lot of things that would make him make that decision, you know? Well, Carson, at this point, if you mess things up at 4-3, there's only so many people who can go home, you know? The chessboard HOH would be cool to see. I would hate that. I don't think they should have HOHs this late in the game that, like, you can team up on people with. I think that's lame. You excited to see Jag's thoughts on the game next Thursday? I think it's funny. I think it's good. I like it that they're bringing Jag in. I think it's always good to have, like, the previous winner's perspective, just continuity's sake. But you could tell they edited this 2-hour episode, and they're like, what the fuck are we going to show next episode? Because they can't do jury again. They could do jury if they want. They can't do family messages again. So they're, like, trying to create new segments, you know? Is there any way you can coach him? Look, I know you guys are not the biggest Jag fans, but you guys got to understand that, like, them being boring is on CBS. CBS is very, like, they shut down any level of interesting conversation that could actually happen. Yeah, look, I get what you're saying with RHAP, but, like, I'm telling you, like, we came in with fun jury questions, and they watered them down to nothing. So, it's... What I'm saying is, like, if you think Jag is boring, that's your right to think that, but he's not the reason these segments are boring. He's not. Feeds won't be back. We're not going to say till feeds are back. I think we'll be on for, like, another 30 minutes, just chatting. It's Quinn's B-Day today, so hopefully they just 30 minutes of them partying. It'll be fun. How long till he texts you for BB26 hot takes? I don't think he wants hot takes. I think they want cold takes. I thought he was actually all right on the recap. I thought he was... The one I couldn't really stand was Cody. I feel like Cody really didn't know what he was talking about all season. Like, he wasn't watching. Jag is locked in enough because he still does the TikToks and he still has to keep up. And he's just won, so he's, like, in his liking Big Brother era. I'd not trust this link, Mike. Who's my pick for jury roundtable host? I think it should just be Taylor. I don't know why it wouldn't be. Maybe she's a little bit too opinionated, right? So they think, like, she wouldn't be a good moderator because she has her thoughts. Jerry O'Connell. That'd be good. BB26, BB Comics tier list. I mean, the Kenny one is the best. Like, that shit's crazy. Why would they do that? Dan would be good, of course. Dan would be great. But Taylor is the new voice and face of Big Brother. Makes sense. Lisa's was funny. I loved Lisa's. If I was Lisa, I think I would enjoy it. I think it's funny, but I get if Lisa hates it. You know what I mean? I do like it, personally. I think Joseph's is pretty cool. It was very weird, though. Like, not all of the comics had their names. Which, okay, that's not always the case. Like, a lot of times they don't put their names in them, but, like, Joseph's was just Rewind. That was kind of weird. Cedric's was just he's young. It was very similar to me, where mine was just he's a student, so school, and it's a pun. Like, Albacory was terrible. I think I really truly got a bottom tier comic. Because top tier Zing, but I think I did get a bottom tier comic. Could someone explain to me why they whitewashed Jag? This was crazy. Does someone have the picture of Cedric's comic? Cattle, I don't like. I think you're explaining why they did it. Cedric's comic. I think that's why they did it, Cattle. I think you're saying like I don't get it. Like you do get it. You're explaining it. In BB25, they didn't cut out all the problematic conversations, and people were talking about them as they should. So they're like, all right, we're not doing that again. Thank you, simply. So, like, what's the deal with Jag here? I know I can't really zoom in more, but who is this? This isn't Jag, because this is clearly Franzel. That's Frankie. You can't really see that's Taylor, like, but it's just weird. Yeah, this is Jag. I don't know who that is. Super odd choice because it wouldn't have. They just copy and paste it, you know? It was very odd to me. Lisa's reminds me when they turned Claire into Care Bear in 23. I think it's cool when you get like a really unique comic. Mine was just so chat GPT. Like, there was nothing memorable about Albacory. A little kid version of their superheroes. Okay. I hear you. I hear you. That makes sense, but, you know, I still think it's weird because we've never seen Jag without a beard. Like, I'm still not confident they were trying to make a pun to your student. I mean, they had the quote that said something about school. So I assume. What else? You're saying it's just a pun? I mean, America's was just a pun, so maybe. I wonder what Jag's chin is like. I bet it's like awesome. It's like Giga Chad, like, you know, give us your comic then. How much do you think my comic would sell for? What do you guys think? Kirk just threw a terrible interception. I mean, he was like third and 30, right? I'm glad that running back's life isn't ruined by fumbling the ball. Tree Fitty, okay. 100 grand, you think? 20 squids? 8 emeralds? What do you think your comic should have been? I think something with the pink, probably. Like if they did like a Pink Panther kind of thing. The robe. I mean, the robe was Cherie's thing. You in the blue outfit. Yeah, I mean, considering they had a segment on it. Blue probably had the best comic last year. I don't think so. I think Blue's was fine. We all knew what it was going to be. I think Cerie probably had the best one. The robot was cool. I think Bowie's is my favorite, honestly. I thought the Bowie ring was cool. It was just a cool power. Like, it didn't make that much sense, but I liked it. But I think Cerie's probably the objectively coolest one. I liked America's. It was a little bit just like a pun again. I thought Riley's was pretty cool. But I think Cerie and Bowie's were my favorite. Heisem and Izzy were kind of meh, forgettable. The Nash villains, yeah. Classic. Last year's comics were just pretty lacking compared to other years. I think they're usually bad. I think this year they did a pretty good job. I think Joseph's was cool. I think Tucker's was kind of fun. Um, I liked most of them this year. I feel like comics are always bad. Zings are sometimes good, sometimes bad. Comics are almost always bad. Survivor players had comics. I mean, Tony would be the llama. That's all I got. I mean, Debbie would have some good ones. I'm not even a fan of the art. I said it. Yeah, it's cool. Parvati's Black Widow, yeah. Brit Flea was good. You got the best Zing last year. We had good Zings. I think BB25 Zings were good. 26 were very bad. I like them doing Zingbot earlier so everybody gets the Zings. I'm very grateful for that, that I went out in 8th place and got Zingbot and comics. That's crazy. I wish I could have played in Zingbot, but the fact that they did all that at Final 8 is kind of crazy. They even shrunk the table at Final 8. Angela's song was pretty good. Yeah, I thought it was fine. It feels like it got a little bit tired at this point, and they keep doing the same kind of thing. Where do you think your where do you think I'd place an OTEV? I would lose to Jag, but I'd make it to the final four. Jag, Matt, and Bowie. I feel like I'd be better than Suri, Felicia, America. But yeah, ultimately in a foot race, you'd bet on Jag before me. I knew all the answers immediately in my head, but I think everyone did. Maybe they did them earlier because it was a long season. I don't know if there's much of a rhyme or reason to when they do them, honestly. Do you drop your card? I don't think so. What was Big Meech's? It was just Big Meech. A giant crybaby. Oh, I remember that, yeah. The superhero BB ad with Dan as the villain. That was a classic. Dave Vaughn was in there. That was really funny. They went so hard for that. I'm pretty sure Frankie was there and the Revengers. That's the one. Funeral director, yeah. Classic. Her crying about her comic after. Big Meech was it's funny. She was totally like a mega fan. Like I remember she was on How to Get On Reality TV, Dan's casting reality TV podcast. And she was there like as a guest trying to get on. Like she submitted a thing asking for advice. And she got on. It was crazy. I think Johnny Mac did as well. It's very funny with Johnny Mac because it's like, how the hell did he not get on immediately? But I think we realized he was really playing a character. Do y'all think I should ever do an AMA? Or are you guys anti me doing an AMA? More savage, Kenny's this year or Kyle's and BB24? I don't know if Kenny is even savage. It's just insane. You've been asked literally everything. Yeah, but like, why not? Do it after the season's over. Yeah. No, I'll let BB26 be BB26. Great way to pull subs. I don't know about that. They were begging postseason. I feel like I'm one of the most active vocal alum ever. Like, if people want to know something about me, there's so many ways for them to find out. There's so many ways to ask me questions. It's like, do it while the finale's airing. Just steal their thunder immediately. It's so hard evaluating Chelsea's game, y'all. Like, she always, the right thing always happens, but the road there is so bad. And if she like didn't talk to the cameras, I think I'd have a lot more faith in her because when she talks to the cameras, she's theoretically telling us the truth, and it makes it. I'm like, because otherwise we could all just headcanon that she's actually just pretending to cam and all these things. Your BB Reddit coded? How dare you? You don't get to say that to me. Oh, you want to talk for 1 second about this shit? Everyone online pretending like Chelsie knows that two women have been in the final too. Y'all. Give her the credit she deserves. She deserves a lot of credit, but come on. We can just be real. Like, that can't be your takeaway if you've been watching this season. It just can't be. It's insane. Discounting a woman's strategy, BB. I'm not discounting anything. I'm a speaker of truth. An honest man in a dishonest world. Yeah, look, here's the giveaway for me for Chelsie. You're in the house for so long, and anything you know about Big Brother, you're going to talk about. Unless you're very intentional trying to hide your fan status, which Chelsea's not. She's talked extensively about Big Brother 25 and Big Brother 24 and like nothing else. Talked a little bit about like the cookout. Like she did her homework. I think she's watched before. She's a fan. But that's it. Is the Falcons game just over here? Are they not going to be able to spike the ball? No, they spiked it with 1 second left. Wow. You just don't get it. Yeah, I think like we could do two things at once, right? We could acknowledge Chelsea's played a really dominant game and is a really good winner, and also like be honest about what we're watching. All right, Young Wei Koo. Here we go. Game tying field goal, 47 yards. Primetime Kirk is back. Honestly, he's been good. Good against the Eagles. They're taking the delay of game to move. She just doesn't remember, but I think she's one of the best liars I've ever seen. She scares me. Yeah, but why would she be lying to us, you know? Like, I understand she does lie to us all the time, but about this, there's no reason. Oh, y'all, there's no way Cam actually could name Lisa. Cam says he watched BB3. I don't know if he could name anyone other than Danielle. Like, my favorite thing Chelsie does that always makes no sense is Chelsie, like, she says what she wants to happen, and then she says her predictions. She's like, I think this is going to happen, though. And I'm like, Chelsie, it's your call. What do you mean? They took the delay of game, Jerry, so they can, like, calm down and settle, so it's not like a rushed unit. I think they just like a slowed, calmed down 52-yarder than a rushed 47-yarder. Does this allow them to move more central as well? I don't know. She's lying to us so she can keep production in the dark. You're getting misted by Chelsea's insane social strategy. Petty, can you put in chat if you actually believe that? Because I don't think you do. But I'm curious. Okay, if you believe it, you believe it. Look, I think you're delusional, but yeah, I think it's a, it's that look to each their own. I could be wrong. It's possible. He got it. This kicker's so good. Anyway, Chelsie loses. Yeah, a Rubina veto. Cam HOH, Rubina veto. She goes home. Other than that, it's pretty hard. And Rubina winning the veto is hard because the Final Four is a studying comp and Rubina hasn't studied. You think this is funny, Jacksonia? All right, well, let's see if you have a good sense of humor. Which Survivor 45, 46 Castaway? This you put your own thread in the chat. Chelsie and D, Quinn and Jake. Yeah, this is one of the worst threads I've ever read in my life. Saying I think this is funny is crazy after then posting your own thread. That's crazy work. So that is funny. I'm sorry. No, no reason to feel bad, Jacksonia, but it's just very funny. I don't want you to feel bad. It actually did crack me up. I'm gonna go die now, lol. You're fine. Yeah, actually, no, speak to it. Speak to the MJ Jelinski comp. What are you trying to do here, Lex? Wait. Wait. You came in. You came in blazing. You're ready to go. Amanda Zuckerman's strongest warrior. Yeah. MJ Jelinski both thought they were running the game. I don't think Jelinski thought he was running the game. I think Jelinski just thought he was safe. No, Andy's a better winner than Chelsie. It's not. You could try to argue the opposite, but that's a hard case. Also, I think Big Brother 15 has an argument for the strongest cast, like gameplay-wise. Personality-wise, maybe the worst ever. But gameplay-wise, I think it's them 17 or 23, not counting All-Star seasons. And I think this is probably the weakest cast ever, or one of them, up there. But Andy as a white dude probably has a better chance than, Chelsie as a black woman. It's like an obvious baked-in advantage Andy has, especially on that cast. Let's be real. No, it's really not. Like, on 15, everyone was playing. Like, Gina Marie was terrible, but Andy was playing. Spencer was playing. McCrando was playing really hard. Alyssa was all right, but Helen was playing really hard. There was a lot of real players there. Like, everyone was playing really, really hard. Yeah, I think I've already done the ranking. I think I have Chelsie 9th or 10th. I have Chelsie 9th or 10th, depending on Maggie. Honestly, Maggie, June, and Chelsie, like, I could see any ordering. I don't think I'm an expert enough on June's game. Like, I think I would probably give the nod to Chelsie, but I think that's a hot take. I think I'm lower on June's game than most. But I think Chelsie and Maggie are like 8 and 9 or 9 and 10 or something. Is Chelsie good or is Cass just stupid? I think like conversation like you should for context you should know like okay it wasn't the strongest cast, but it takes a good player to make the rest of your cast look really stupid. And even with a stupid cast by itself, you need to be a good player to win that season in a dominating fashion, anyways. You know. So she should get the credit for that. Like I don't think you should take that away from her. I disagree with that Mountain Doofus. I think there's so many factors. Like I saw a stupid thread about like why Tyler was did terrible jury management, and like he wasn't perfect, but like we don't have to be super results oriented. Like just because the jury, like five of them didn't vote for Tyler, does not make him a terrible player. I think this is one of Andy's opinions that I hate the most. Like a lot of stuff happens in the jury house that a player cannot control. That's the truth. Like you just can't. Like jury management is a huge part of the game. Some people are better than it than others, but also some stuff happens in the jury house that is out of your hands. Lex, I feel pretty strong about this opinion. I don't want to go to bat for PB15. It's a fucking terrible season. There's a lot of terrible people, but I think there was way more people actively playing a game, whereas BB26, Chemo and Rabina did nothing for the second half of the game. MJ is one of the worst strategic players ever. Cam, the fact that we're praising Cam is crazy. Like he's also just kind of been a non-factor for most of the game. Quinn evicted allies on both of his HOHs. People are propping up Leah's game, but I mean, look at Leah's game. Propping up Angela's game. Look at Angela's game. It's just hard. Like, I don't think you can compare the two casts. Like, they're in different stratospheres, gameplay wise. BB10 had a lot of act. Yeah, BB10's a strong cast too. I mean, even like people like Jerry were playing really hard. You wouldn't like exactly expect that. I think. Wow, the Falcons just win. How the hell did the Falcons win that game? Primetime Kirk. Yeah, I mean, look, I think the what could be dangerous about this season is I think production may view it as a tremendous success, which is it was a good season. I like, but I think they might take away the wrong lessons. Like the equitable comps is good. I think they're going to take that and run with it. But I think in terms of the casting, I think they might lean more recruits than not, based on the season. It's just my read, though. Who can say? Scared about the future of casting on this show? I agree. They have been doing that, though. I mean, my season was not as bad. I mean, this was 10 recruits, 7 people who applied, or 10 recruits, 6 people who applied this season, I think. On ours, it was half and half, depending on what you think of Suri and Jared. Best outcome for HOH? I think Rubina creates a lot of interesting outcomes. Chelsie would have to pick between Cam and MJ. Cam would have to choose to throw his game away, so would MJ. Everyone was so hyped by the Traders casting, people coming over, but I am underwhelmed. Uh, yeah. I mean, it's weird because the people who cast Traders are like, it's a very different job than casting Big Brother. How many people make semis and finals? We don't know. There's huge ass windows of people. People say like 200 people make semis and 40 to 60 make finals, but my guess is those numbers are much lower. My guess is 100-ish people make semis and like 30 to 40 make finals or something. But I have no idea. Like, truly no idea. I think they overestimate the number, though. I agree, Lola. I think they did a good job. I think casting did a good job this season. I think the recruits they got were good. I think some of the biggest duds were the people who applied. like, you know, I think they did a good job casting. It just kind of, makes steamrolls sometimes. When you have like some players who have, a certain level of game knowledge and game ability, and you put them next to people who've never seen the show before, steamrolls are more likely. This season was not a steamroll though. So, what about yourself are you most proud of? Let's not turn the stream into self-aggrandizing, self-praise. I'm okay with the game I played. A lot of flaws, but that was all right. Sounds like a cameo question. Yeah. Did you watch Survivor last night? No, but I heard about it and I watched what happened. Confusing vote. But I tweeted that at the concert because I'm like, Asia did not place well. I think Asia's pretty good at Survivor, is my guess. Makes mistakes for sure, but, you know. Yeah, Quinn was great casting. He's been great. Like, I think it's really hard to play Survivor when, like, your biggest op has 7 advantages. Like, that was, like, Zach. Like, Zach and Drea did not get along, and Drea had, like, something from a journey. They didn't know what, and it just makes it really hard to do anything. Like, on a 6-person tribe, a vote steal is just nuts. It's a crazy power. That's why, again, I don't like 6-person tribes. I just don't like them. Do I think a returnee season is coming next year? No, I think it'll be newbies. I think they like newbies. I think newbies is good. I don't want a mixed cast. I want all newbies or all returnees. And I think Big Brother is a game where newbie seasons are just better than returnees. Big Brother 7 was a miracle. Because honestly, I'm watching BB7 now, and it should just be a season 6 steamroll. Gotta get out the floaters. Yeah, Chicken George is a threat. BB7's more fun than this season? Oh, yeah. I think this season is like. I think it's like BB18 to me. I think I enjoyed 18 more, but it's that tier season if I'm trying to be objective. It's like BB18, BB. Like 8. Like that kind of tier. 7 and 14. People like 18. I think 18 is fun. Mileage varies on season 11. Some people love it. If Chicken George won BB7, would he be a better winner than Jag? No. No, their whole concept of like we have to keep in Chilltown because Chilltown's going to be a threat that they go out. Like a 4-person group that won the first 4 HOHs is always going to be considered more of a threat than Chilltown who's won nothing. Such flawed logic is. And you just credit Boogie and Will for doing whatever the fuck they did. I think a lot of it was just BB6's mistakes more than their good game, but whatever. Is the finale watch party sold out yet? I believe it is Mountain Doofus. I believe we sold it out earlier today. You can check though. Thanks, Talk. I appreciate that. Thanks, Jerry. The RHAP recap just ended. Oof. The viewers about to flood in. um, you want to drive 6 hours? Damn, Katie should have made the trip. But yeah, we got it's gonna be a 150 person event. 150. It's pretty good. Would you do a returnee season if asked? Sure. I think I'd be in a lot of trouble, but sure. What else am I doing? Thanks, Amanda. I looked up flights to Dream. You're not missing that much. Just the Cam coronation. Did you guys have to get security? Yeah. I mean, we're gonna get security no matter what. But considering what happened at the last event, or what was threatened to happen at the last event, it's like a must-have at every event we ever do. Oh, damn, Marie, that's crazy. But I'm glad you're gonna be there. It'll be fun. Yeah, Cal, we're planning on hosting some more events in the coming years, so maybe we'll pop up in your area. I still have to watch Five Nights at Freddy's. I haven't watched it yet. Sorry, it was random, but it's on the TV next to me, the monitor next to me. Melbourne, you guys want me to do a Melbourne event? Honestly, if Bowie's organizing it, maybe. Are we going to the Bryson Wen event in Nashville? I don't think we're planning on it, but maybe. Maybe. I don't know. It's not in the plans. Those events are always just a little intense for me personally. But if it's in Nashville, like I feel like there's a good chance we end up there. Aussie event, we up? Yeah. I want to go to Australia, so move to Chicago and host an event. You guys have events in Chicago every now and then. Events in New York. You guys have a lot of events. You guys can't complain. What would your strategy be on another season? I would do what I did last time, but better. Less messy, more active. Less throwing comps, less showmans. I think I had the right idea. I think I put myself in a winning position and then lost. Comps would have made it impossible to win, but I lost it for other reasons as well. But I think I had the right idea. Got in the final 8 with a lot of win equity. Can't be that bad. Did you know Joseph in this season was almost cast on 25? I did. We talked about it. He was probably fighting for either my spot or Jag's spot. It's tough to say. If they ask, Allie, look, we're not saying no to anything. Joseph on the game room when. I don't want to, I feel bad asking people to do stuff like that. Especially if we're not close to them. I feel like I'm, pimping them out. He's similar comp-wise to Jag. Yeah, if he ever turned it on. All right, any last things before I head out? Sweat tour review. It was good. It was good, but I was very drunk intentionally. So maybe if I was sober, I would be less impressed. But I don't care for Troye Sivan that much. Jacksonia, please stop. You're fine. You're so fine. I don't. I feel bad. I feel like I was mean. I'm sorry. I thought it was funny saying this was so funny and then posting your own thread. I think that's a funny thing to do. But it's nah, it's not a big deal at all. I don't want you thinking twice about it. Fun chill stream. Yeah, we're just chilling. Once on Saturday we're doing a Halloween costume stream. So get excited for that. That'll be fun. Get your couples costumes, your links for them ready. Got some ideas? Good. Okay. I appreciate you all. I'll talk to you guys soon.